Honorable George Duker, Deputy Minister of Land and Natural Resources from Ghana, thank you for joining Egypt Mining Talks, and thank you for being with us here in Egypt.
A pleasure joining you.
It's always happy to have you here in Egypt, and I hope you're enjoying our very hot weather, as you can see how it is these days.
I'm so impressed of seeing Cairo for the first time, and also being our in-law. You know, our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, married Fatia from Egypt.
Oh, okay.
So our relationship dates back.
Very long time, definitely, very long time. Well, as we are now right here in the Egypt Mining Show, and with Ghana's vast experience in mineral resources, tell us more about Ghana and what Ghana's efforts in promoting investments in mineral resources in Ghana.
Right. Let me say that Ghana, as we speak, is a leading gold producer in Africa, and has or is endowed with a lot of mineral resources or natural resources, in terms of energy, in terms of gold, in terms of lithium, industrial minerals, and other important natural resources that will benefit human race. Obviously, our concentration for now has been on gold. And the purpose of it is to leverage on and make sure that the people benefit, because we've been mining for no less than 300 years in terms of gold production. And in doing so, what we are anticipating to do in future is to add value to the gold that we produce. That if you're producing gold, you don't just export the gold in a raw form, but make sure you have a refinery that will meet the dictates of LBMA. And if you have that LBMA certification and the refinery is established, then you can broaden the base of which the people or the indigenous will benefit out of the natural resources. Now, what is also key is having a legal framework that will seek to guide the exploitation of these minerals. Because if you don't have legal framework that will seek to guide it, you will put the whole country into jeopardy. So you have to have proper systems or mechanisms that will guide the exploitation of these minerals, and that is really helping us. The key point of it is the local content policy and the legislation that we have. If you take the LI 2431, which was passed as part of our local content measures, that if you're a company or an investor and you come, you need to liaise with the people. Ghanaians must also have a share in whatever that you intend to exploit, so that you will not get it all and take it away. It must be win-win kind of situation. So Ghana is consciously leveraging on the gold. Beyond the gold, we also have manganese, we have bauxite, we have lithium, as I've already indicated, we have iron ore. And with this, we taking advantage of our experience and exposure in gold to also make sure we benefit. Beneficiation is key. And with the bauxite industry, as I speak with you, we mine the bauxite and then we export in a raw form. Then we intend to import alumina, which is expensive. So what we have decided is to also add value to the bauxite that we mine. So what we're doing is we've established a corporation called Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation. And that is to seek to the source to the end, have a value chain. So you mine the bauxite, you smelt, have your alumina to feed into the aluminum industry. Then same applies to the iron ore to also get to the steel industry. So we've also established the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation. On a green mineral, we intend to also refine lithium locally, so that we would also mine the lithium in a raw form and just export. I think what Africans must take advantage of, and which is key, is the African Continental Free Trade Area.
African Continental
Free Trade Area.
Free Trade in the yes.
We'll call it AFTA. Headquartered in Ghana. And the AFTA is to ensure that Africans trade amongst ourselves.
Absolutely.
As I'm in Egypt, in Cairo, beautiful city. Somebody was telling me about Sharm el-Sheikh, that I have to be there to compare Cairo to...
Oh, there's so many places you have to go before to compare.
So, you know, if, for example, Egypt has a resource that is so much endowed, why can't Egypt or Ghana trade directly with Egypt rather than looking elsewhere? But we can only do so when there is that link or rail in terms of transshipment and all that. If we make that provision, then you can think of proper trade.
Yes.
If even those in West Africa could even trade among themselves, it starts from a point. Those in the southern belt, those in the middle belt, then we can, in the near future, come together and say, let's one country specialize in this. Then we can trade among ourselves.
I would totally agree, Your Excellency, Your Honor, about that. I think Africa needs more collaboration within all the different organizations, associations that are created, AFTA and so many others. I think within Africa we have the skills, we have the resources, we have the technology, we have everything. And I think you mentioned it this morning in your panel, and you were very clear at it. And also you did mention a very important point where Africa should have a say in the pricing of gold.
Absolutely. You see, it's just like the OPEC, where the oil producing countries have come together to form an association to determine prices. But we are the leading gold producer in Africa, but we don't have a say in the pricing of gold. How can you say so? I mean, it's ridiculous. We have to have a system where African countries that produce gold come together and say, we also saying this. We don't leave it for an association sitting somewhere to determine what we do, even certifying us to have a refinery. I mean, at least we're not being radical. We're not saying it should end in a day, but let's collaborate. They must respect our views. Our views must be respected. It shouldn't be only gold. It must be applicable to all other minerals. That if it is lithium and we are producing it, we must have a say. If it is bauxite, we must have a say. If it is manganese, if it is cobalt, if whatever form it takes, we must have a say as Africans. And that is where we can really make positive impact as far as our natural resources concerned.
Honorable George Duker, Prime Minister, Deputy Minister for Land and Natural Resources from Ghana, thank you so much for your time. I might have said Prime Minister, maybe you will be one time, so good luck with that. And thank you for your time, thank you for your knowledge and expertise, and thank you for being here with us in Egypt Mining Forum, and looking forward to speaking to you again.
I'm so excited, super excited to be here in Cairo.
We are so happy to have you, and I hope you enjoy your stay in Cairo. Well, I'll give you some tips and advice after our interview, right? Thank you so much.